Yeah, that's good for go. And could everybody put themselves onto mute, please, while we're all talking, and we can come off mute. Otherwise, we get backlash. If anybody wants to say anything or ask anything, just press the hand at the bottom, and then we can see who you are. So we've now got 20 on. So I'll make a start. Right, ma'am, sirs, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2023 virtual AGM. It's a novel idea, but I think it's worked so far. The technology's worked, which is great. It's I just thought before we start, I'd ask Liz if she could just send me a list of PMs who are no longer with us, and I was quite amazed. There's been quite a long list since our last AGM, and I thought it was worth just remembering or reflecting on some of these people who you may or may not know. I remember several of them, probably a little bit older than some of you. So we have Flight Officer Faye Christie, who died on the 20th of March, age 82. Flying Officer Irene Barton, died 22nd of July 22, age 94. Squadron Leader King, ARRC, died June 2022, 91. She was my first deputy matron at Nocton Hall at 1972, so I do remember her. Group Captain Sheila Firth, RRC, died September 22, age 91, and I remember Group Captain Firth as well. Flying Officer Pat Whittle, she died April 22, 93. Flying Officer Nancy Hill, died October 22, age 89. Flight Officer West, aged 84. She died 11th of May 2023. SACW Marilyn Triffett, sadly died this year, age 69, in June. Marilyn was on the SAN course above me at Nocton Hall, so I knew Marilyn really well, and I was quite sad to hear of her passing. But Flying Officer Una Theobald, June 23, aged 88. Wing Commander Welford, I'm sure most of us remember Wing Commander Welford, RRC. She died February this year, aged 77. Flying Officer Eileen Moyle, August 23, age 58, very young. And SSCW Barbara Chapman Smith, who we just been referring to, died October this year, age 72. And there was one other death who wasn't a member, but that doesn't matter. Squadron Leader Pat Hunter, she was known as Squadron Leader Condi. Some of you may know her, and she died October this year. And so it's quite a list this year. So I think it's just worth just recognising them and remembering them. So, as you're all aware, this year has been a special year for the PMs. It's the 100th anniversary of the Royal Patronage. We had celebrations at start at St Clement Danes Church, followed by a cocktail party at the RAF Club. Both of which were really good events. The church service was very appropriate for the occasion. Very well done. I'd like to thank the clergy for their service. It was really well done. We had a nice cocktail party in the RAF Club with a quintet of RAF bandsmen and women, and that was really nice as well. And I'd just like to give some thanks to Roddy for managing this project from start to finish. I asked him if he'd take it on last year, and he said he would, and it was a great job, Roddy. Thanks very much for doing that. That was brilliant. But on the back of that, I had this sort of light bulb thing. It would be nice to have some sort of commemorative object to remember the centenary. So I commissioned a trainer tanker, and I put it on Facebook, and the orders came flooding in, and eventually, after several weeks of hard slog and packing, I dispatched 180 tankards to about 168 members, 2 overseas members, one in Nova Scotia and one in Australia. All the tankards arrived with no breakages, and so that was brilliant. And the lady in Nova Scotia is called Jeanette, and I did mention to her that my wife and I were going on a cruise to America and Canada in 2025 as part of our 50th wedding anniversary. So she's given me a phone number and invited me to a lobster lunch when we get to Nova Scotia. So I'll be giving her a ring and enjoying that when we get there. In March this year, myself, Liz, Debbie represented the. Can you all hear me? Barry said he's having problems. Yeah.
I can hear you, Bob. Yeah.
Must be Barry. Yeah. So March 23, Liz, Debbie, and myself represented the association. Oh, somebody's ringing in my ears now. Who's that? That is, but I'll ignore it. We were invited to the PM symposium by DNS, and it was the first time that we had a presence at the symposium. And I think, if I can speak for myself, it was a really enlightening 2 days. But a very nice dinner on the night of the first day, and it was a good insight into the modern PMs. Well, what they're doing and what's changing, and it's a lot different to when I was in. I can say men can have beards now. I noticed, so I would have been well in there. So I thought that was interesting. But I would like to thank the committee for their ongoing support and dedication to continue to improve our offer to our membership. Everybody works really hard on their particular functions. I'd just like to turn to Debbie, who's done a sterling job as editor on the magazine. Her vision and dogged determination has produced a high-quality magazine for the membership with a good balance of serving and retired member articles. And I think everybody, since Debbie's taken over, I've had emails from several retired mayors and chiefs, DNSs, have all commented on the quality of the magazine. So just thanks for that, Debbie. Debbie is going to be standing down as editor after this meeting, but she would like to stay on the committee and will assist and help where needed. So I've given her the great title of member without portfolio. So she's there if you need her. So you can give her a shout. And I'd also like to welcome, he doesn't seem to have joined us yet. I have spoke to him, Flight Sergeant Neil Middleton, as our new editor. I spoke to him 2 days ago, had a quick introduction, and Debbie's briefed him fully, and she tells me he'll be the right man for the job. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll be an asset. I really do. Yeah.
Brilliant. That's great. We had another good turnout last year for the Field of Remembrance and Remembrance Sunday. And again, thanks to Flight Sergeant Beth Burns and Roddy Wells for organising the November ceremonies. It's not an easy task dealing with the British Legion, as Roddy's found out on numerous occasions. But the tickets have all arrived electronically this year, so I think we've all got our tickets for the day. I'll let Roddy explain the nuts and bolts of that shortly. I'm not going to go into any great detail. But last year, everyone was wearing headdress, and I put in capitals here, and yes, we did stand out. We looked, I think, pretty good. I think I'll put a flight. Everybody looked really smart, and I think this year let's go into greater detail with the scarf, the rings. I think it'll look even better. I'd like to thank Flight Sergeant Beth Burns, who sorted out the hats. That was a sort of one-off event. So she managed to get them through Halton's clothing store. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And people got them, and we subsidise the hats as well. So, but hopefully everybody had got one. And I'm looking forward to the to this Thursday at the Field of Remembrance, and again on Sunday for Remembrance Sunday. It'd be nice to meet up with everybody again face to face. The team will brief you in more detail later on. The association's finances are very healthy, and Flight Attendant Sasha Nevin will go through the account shortly. But I would like to thank Sasha for her stewardship as a treasurer. He's had to deal with a lot of transactions this year, with tankers and badges and goodness knows what else. And I think when we did our sums for the tankers, we were £2 out, so that wasn't too bad. So my calculation and Sasha's, that was the card machine, because it deducted some commission. So thanks to Sasha for all that hard work on that. The membership team will go through the numbers later, but I would like to thank Squad Leader retired Lizzie Spurn and Flight Lieutenant retired Jill Brooks for all their hard work in managing the membership database, sending out birthday cards to those over 80. The magazine and Christmas cards is a big job to be posted, and they manage that every year, which is great. And I'd just like to thank them for doing that, because it's no mean feat. I'd like to thank Flight Lieutenant Pete Pybus, who's standing down from the membership team, and to welcome Corporal Rebecca Scott onto the team. So we have got a survey member back onto the team now. Hopefully, she'll be an asset to the membership team. I had two ideas this year. My second idea was to commission the association puppy badge, and Liz came up with a scarf ring. We put them on Facebook. I think within minutes, people were saying yes, we'll have one, and I'll let Liz go into the figures and the numbers later on when she goes into her brief. But suffice to say, they're really high quality, and everybody that's got one has really liked them. If you look on the Facebook page, that's reflected there as well. Due to the centenary event and the RAF Medical Services dinner in October, there's been a lot going on this year. The reunion team of Wing Commander Sharon Wheeler and Dave Weston and myself had a chat, and we thought we couldn't fit in another dinner, and it was a bit too much for this year, because there's been a lot going on. And we said we're doing a virtual AGM, really just to ratify the committee, to agree the finances and go through any other issues that members may have. So that's what we're doing now. Wing Commander Sharon Wheeler will be standing down as lead this year due to going on maternity leave. I would like to thank Sharon for all her hard work and support over the past few years, and wish her well in the coming months. I've spoken to Sharon, and she's really keen to come back on the committee when she's back to work, which is great news, because she does enjoy doing that, so it's brilliant. And I'd like to welcome Flight Lieutenant Charlotte Boers onto the reunion team along with Dave Weston. Charlotte's taken over from Sharon, and Sharon's had a handover with Charlotte, so I'm not sure whether Sharon will go through the slide later on with what's going on. Heritage, we carry on. George is beavering away, going through the massive. It's a massive historical archive. There's tons of stuff to go through. So I do the website. George does all the sort of the spade work, and he sends me memory sticks occasionally with hundreds and hundreds of bits and pieces on. So this year we decided to look at service hospitals. So I didn't realise how many we had. So he sent me a memory stick which went back to 1918 to present, and that took me hours to get on the website. But we've now got a whole library, historical library of every RAF hospital since 1918 with photographs. He's just sent me another memory stick with some more photographs to go on for the hospitals. The next thing we're going to start is looking at campaigns from World War One up to present day. So that's the next bit of work, but it does take a lot of time. George won't be here today, so I'll just cover off anything else that you'd like to ask. I would also like to thank Group Captain Emma Redmond for her support over the past few years. She's been a breath of fresh air, really. She's turned up to all our events, including the November ceremonies, along with WOK Award, and they've helped to forge closer links between our serving colleagues and our retired members, and both of your support has been much appreciated, and I hope it will continue in the future. The PMRAF Association attended the Women's Services Memorial Day in August, where DNS took the salute. And I would like to thank all those members serving and retired who supported this event. It looked really great. The photographs look really good as well. And I think those up there really enjoyed it. And thank you for doing that. It was up north, so it was a bit further, a bit too far to get to. With your committee, I will continue, if you want me to support our members and continue to improve what we can offer membership over the coming years. Thanks for your attention. I haven't gone into any great detail because I think everybody else will do that. If anybody's got any questions for me now, you can stick your hand up. If not, we'll move on. I'll try and share the slides. Anybody got any questions? Or we can wait till the end. No. Right. And the next trick is, can we share the slides? That's the next thing. Present now. PowerPoint. Share. Boom. Can somebody tell me if you can see the slides just verbally? Yeah. Lovely. Right. So that was me. And I'd like to pass over to Captain Redmond now for her comments.
Thanks, Bob. I was going to use my video, but I think my internet is less than reliable. So you've got a much younger and much more informal picture of me, probably, that you can see rather than me sat here in my uniform. So hopefully that's okay. You mentioned Wing Commander Wheeler a moment ago, Bob, just to let everybody know that her little baby boy, Robbie, arrived very quickly last week, and Mum and Baby do. So she started her maternity leave.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Thanks, Bob. You've covered most of what I was going to say, so that's really good. And I would just like to echo all the thanks that you've given out there. There's lots of people in this association that have been working really hard behind the scenes in all sorts of different areas to make the association and work. And as a president and DNS, I'm really grateful for that. So thank you. So it's been a fairly significant year for us in our PM's history, I think, and it's nice to hear you say that one where the association serving members have had a few opportunities to get together, because that's really important to me, especially in this 100 years of royal patronage. So we started off, as you said, with our first all rank symposium, the first in 4 years really, due to the COVID pandemic. And we had a very notable individual come as our keynote speaker, Mr. Frank Dick, OBE. He's done a lot of work working with elite sports and elite sports teams, and he came and spoke to us about success and teamwork and resilience. And actually there was a huge amount of resonance there between those sort of really elite groups of sports people and us as nursing in terms of what we do. And grateful to the committee for their financial support of the association, and it was really lovely to be able to have a few members of the association come and join us. And that's a model I'd really like to take forward for next year. We've set the date for the 27th and 28th of March. It's a really lovely way for sort of a handful of the association members to come and stay connected with those that are serving, but also vice versa. That works in both ways. The 100th celebration, the centenary celebration was fantastic. We chose to hold that event in place of the usual Thanksgiving event this year. And that combination of a really poignant and beautiful church service followed by a really generous reception gave us, I think, the opportunity to remember those that have served, but also that were still serving in our PM's family. And I think a time to just take stock. You know, since our inception, we've had a real global presence, whether that be in supporting standing commitments, ops or exercises. And I really do believe that we are the cornerstone of the RAF Medical Services. And, you know, we don't just contribute to those air ops, but a huge and wide array of defence commitments. And we're really well respected, both inside and outside of the medical environment. You know, and that's reflected, I think, on the opportunities that are now open to us. We've got a 1-star head nurse as head of the RAF Medical Services, and I think that's a real testament to the recognition of our utility and capability as leaders in defence. And of course, we've got significant talent across all ranks within the PMs. We always have had. We're taking on new roles, we're pushing boundaries, and I think we've got a really exciting 100 years ahead of us. So yeah, looking forward to that. We had a great annual tennis championship at Holton, another great opportunity for us to come together. And it was an honour to be able to host Greek captain retired Annie Reid. She came and gave away her plate that she sponsored during her time as DNS. And actually, after that championship, through the Facebook page, I was approached by a number of people saying, you know, would there be an opportunity for association members to perhaps come and attend the tennis? And I don't, you know, on limited numbers, I don't see why we shouldn't be able to open up that opportunity for some of our association members going forward. It's another really nice way of bringing the retired and our serving members together. As you'd expect, our nurses have been involved in all aspects of deployed ops. Specifically, our PM supported Op Greenlighter in response to the earthquake in Turkey earlier in the year. And actually, in recognition of the tactical air med and critical air support teams, they were awarded the Worshipful Society of Apothecaries Prize for Excellence in Military Medical Support to Crisis. So, as ever, our work recognised not just within the medical services, but externally as well. So in my other role as AH Med People and Training, nursing has also featured highly in the work that we've conducted as part of that pillar. We've been working really hard with UK strategic to develop new terms and conditions of service for our nurses as we transition into unified career management. What's that? So unified career management will see the joint UK Stratcom command take responsibility for the career management and workforce planning of all nurses and other medical cohorts across all three services. So we won't be managed by a single service career management function anymore. That will be done much more jointly. And the intent there is that by combining those functions across these, we'll be better able to meet its medical personnel, if you like. And actually over time, you know, there should be greater opportunity for employment, both in terms of role, but also location. We've also conducted a really thorough assessment of our operational and firm-based nursing requirements, not just for now, but in the future. And we're currently working to meet that future demand. And although there is still some work to do, it's likely that we'll probably see, it'll be no surprise, an increase in some specialist nursing requirements, probably in emergency nursing and critical care nursing, and that will potentially have to be offset against some of our general nursing numbers. And as part of the work, we've also been reviewing specialist training pathways for all our specialties to they're still relevant and required and fit for purpose. And we've started to look at prioritising our work strands for next year. So next year, in conjunction with our other single service heads of nursing and the Defence Nursing Advisor, we'll develop a new Defence Nursing Strategy and Competency Map. And we're also gathering the necessary evidence and drafting a nursing pay proposal for the Armed Forces pay review body, along with a long overdue review of clinical work, clinical uniforms. So quite a lot going on this year and quite a lot to come next year. I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the association for its support during my tenure as DNS RAF and president of the association. I've thoroughly enjoyed the privilege of undertaking the roles, and I'm honoured to have been not just the president but matron-in-chief of the PMs. I will move on to a new role as Deputy Commandant for the Defence Medical Academy in January 24. And whilst my successor is yet to be announced, I'm confident that whoever takes on the role will have the vision and energy to continue to evolve our service so that we can continue to meet the future demands of defence. But I am looking forward, before I step down, for the opportunity, as many of you as possible, Some of you I'll see on Thursday at Westminster Abbey, but hopefully a few of you at Horse Guards Parade in preparation for the stand-off and the lunch at the RAF Club afterwards. So that will be my final official function with the association. So I'm really grateful for all your support over my last 2.5 years. Thank you.
Thanks, ma'am. Much appreciated. Anybody got any questions for the group captain before we move on? No, a lot of shaking heads. Lovely. Get back onto the race slide again. Just bear with me a sec. I had to come off because somebody was trying to ring in my ear, or I couldn't hear. This is a photograph of pre-dinner before we went to the dinner at Halton House and on the symposium. It's a really nice photograph. It's got everybody in, and it's just I put the minutes on. The minutes were available on the website for anybody that wanted to read them. I've gone through them, and I've got no comments to make about the minutes unless anybody else has. Just say so. Just shout if you have. If not, we'll move on, and I'll just, for Steve's benefit, apologies, obviously, Sharon, Winkabana Wheeler, George Cuthbert, Vice Sergeant Burns, and who else? Or somebody else. I couldn't be sure. I think Neil's just come on as well, which is good. It's I've got no matters arising. Everything that we said we would do last year. Just bear with me. Somebody else wants to join the meeting. It's Noel Braithwaite. He's late again. Right, start again. Get back to where I was. I've got no matters arising unless anybody else has. There's a lovely picture there of you all with your hats on. But sadly, I've got the Christmas card finished and agreed after 3 versions this year. It's normally about 10. All I'm waiting for now, Mr. Braithwaite, is a nice landscape photograph of this year's contingent. And I'll drop that into the Christmas card and get that sent off for printing. I think everybody's seen it, and everybody's happy with it. If we just change the photograph, so that's that. Matters arising. I want to do the committee first to get this all ratified. The only vacancy we have is Deputy Treasurer. Everything else is filled, and I'd just like to welcome AS1 Kathy Hanna, who is now our student representative. Had a chat with Kathy a couple of weeks ago, and she's got a presentation at the end of the slide just to talk through all things student nurses, which is great. So we've got a full contingent of committee members. I'm making the assumption that everybody else is happy to stay on. Nobody has said anything to the contrary. Have we got a proposer for that, please? If you could just, anybody just say your name.
I'll propose it, Bob.
Who's that?
Liz Eastburn.
Right. So Liz Eastburn proposes the committee. Have we got a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second it, Bob.
Thank you, Debbie. So we're all in it again for another 12 months. Thanks very much, everybody. There's no escape now. So let's make sure that right. Over to Flight Attendant Sasha Nevin for the financial report. That's a nice picture of the Memorial Day, which was attended by our PMs and our WRAF colleagues. So it looked a really fun day. There we are.
Good afternoon, Mom and fellow association members. Welcome to those who have recently joined us, and hello to those I haven't seen for a while. So from my point of view, you can see the figures hopefully on the screen in front of you. The current balance as it stands off today is slightly different to what you can see there, just because we've had a few changes in payments. So our current account has £10,768.95 as of today, and our reserve account has £13,606.84. You can hopefully see there a breakdown of the income and the expenses, and big thanks to Bob, his wife Mary, and Liz for some of the merchandise that we've been able to send to our members this year. And of course, as you know, all the funds that go in to the association is spent on association members and the associated asks that we do have come through. So if anyone has any questions, please do let me know, and I will put the up-to-date figures into the chat box there for your reference as well. Thank you.
Anybody got any questions on the finances for Sector 11? It's just shout out really hard, because I can't see any hands because I'm presenting. So if you want to just say verbally, but I think we're in a very good position financially, and as I say, the way this year's been particularly busy because there's been lots coming in and lots going out, but I think we should be really proud of where we are financially. It gives us a good firm base to do a bit more stuff maybe next year. Thank you very much, Sasha. Next one is Squadron retired Lizzie Spurn and Flight Attendant retired Jill Brooks on membership.
Good afternoon, Ma'am, sirs, and fellow association members. There is actually a correction I need to make on my slide. When I did the slide, we had 427 members. We actually now have 431. And if I can be reassured that Flight Sergeant Middleton has paid his subscription, we actually have 532. Because I have his form, but I just need confirmation from Sasha that he's paid. Of the 431 members, we have 85 serving members, which is a big improvement on last year, and we have 93 members over 80. New members since our last AGM in April last year is 62, for which I think we should all be congratulated, especially Bob, having this bright idea of putting mugs on, because a lot of people have decided that they thought by joining the official Facebook page they were members when actually they weren't. And there's quite a lot have joined as a result of that, I believe. I have to thank Bob, I say with gritted teeth, for the bright idea of having poppy badges and scarf rings. As of date, we have sold 221 poppy badges and over 100, probably 110, 112 scarf rings. And I have, of the 110 scarf rings, I actually only originally ordered 100. And so with what they gave me, I had 106. So I'm hoping that we'll have more by the end of the week. Otherwise, there's a couple of people marching who won't have rings, unfortunately, because they didn't apply till very late. I would like to thank Flight Lieutenant Brooks for all her support this year. She's been very helpful. We actually got together to have a big posting of, I said, I've got 200 poppy badges and scarf rings to post, so over she came. So that was very helpful. And I'd like to welcome Corporal Scott, who I've managed to speak to, and we will be having a meeting in the middle of the country at Jill's house at the end of November to discuss what we'd like her to do as part of the committee. What else? Oh yeah, I'd particularly like to welcome Flight Lieutenant or Mark Veery, who has joined us from Texas. So it must be like the middle of the night where he is. He is one of our newest members, so I'd like to welcome him to the association. I hope that at some point when he ventures over the pond, we can see him at a meeting. I don't think I wrote anything else on my. No, I don't. We have had alterations made courtesy of Julian to our website. So I will be contacting all those who sent us registration forms but have not paid their subscription, because it is now easier to do so. You can go back onto the website and make a subscription. Oh, he's going to be in London in December. He's got high tea at the RAF Club. Well, I won't be there. So, I can't remember, I got lost there.
Julian.
Oh yeah, Julian, he's updated the Facebook page, so the website, so that anyone can go back in, because a lot of people would apply for membership and then decide to go back later and make their payment, and it doesn't always work. So it's now been altered so it does work. So I will be recontacting all those who've sent registration forms over the past few years to hopefully we'll get a few more members joining. So yes, I would like to welcome join with Bob in welcoming Flight Sergeant Middleton to the association, Corporal Scott to the association, Flight Lieutenant Charlotte Bowers. Is Flight Lieutenant Charlotte Bowers on the meeting, Bob?
No, she's not today, Liz.
Okay, well, I'll be contacting her. She is sort of a member.
Okay.
Well, she's a member, but she joined in 2021, but we haven't seen a payment since. So I will be joining her, contacting her shortly. That's fine. And I'm thank obviously Group Captain Redmond very much for her support and help over the past 2 years, and hope that so that I don't have to add my usual comments, that when her successor is appointed that she lets me know who it is, so I can let her know if she's a member of the association already.
And I'm sure she won't be quite as ashamed or he will not be quite as ashamed as I was when I was then quick.
No, Mom, it's not just you. Your predecessor and your predecessor's predecessor weren't members.
I'm not alone.
No, again, thank you very much to everyone. I don't know if anyone has any questions, but that's the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Liz. I think it's credit really to the team that we've increased the membership significantly for over the past 12 months, which is brilliant. And I think by more interaction with our colleagues, either through social media or on the website or whatever we do, I think that a lot of people can see a value in being a member, and I think it's all credit to the team for doing that. So yes, so thanks again, team, for that. It's brilliant. Moving on to the magazine, Debbie, over to you.
Lovely, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Mams, fellow PMs. As you've heard, I am standing down as editor of the magazine after this one goes out. I know you said today, Bob, but I will get this magazine out, I promise. But thank you to all the committee for their support during my tenure. I took over in 2020, and this will be my 4th magazine, and it has been a real lovely step down from serving to retired, because it's kept me in touch with what's going on. But I'm confident that Flight Sergeant Neil Middleton will take on this role beautifully, and he will be a huge asset to the committee, and he'll be ably supported by the deputy editor, Karen Abbey. Thank you to all PM, RFNS and association personnel who contributed to the magazine. I am always overwhelmed with the response that I get, and thank you also to those who've taken the time to express their views, mostly positive, but some constructive, and I have taken them all on board, and please continue to do that when Neil takes over. A huge thank you to all the proofreaders, because I get word blind by the end of a few months doing the magazine. So thank you to the proofreaders, and a special thank you to Squad Leader retired Liz Eastburn and Flight Lieutenant Jill Brooks, and also Lizzie's husband Gary, for the time they spent sorting the magazines every year, but especially last year, because it was just sort of like a huge mammoth undertaking. And thank you to the graphics and media services at RAF Cranwell, because without them we wouldn't have such a professional looking magazine. But especially thank you to Tess Solly, because she has been my point of contact over the last 4 magazines, and she's just amazing. I just tell her what I would like and she does it. She's absolutely brilliant. As many of you know, my aspiration when I took over the role of editor in 2020 was to focus on massive collaboration with regular and reserving serving personnel, as well as retired members. I think because I'd recently retired from the RAF. I do feel very confident this has been achieved, and you will see when you look at this year's magazine, and a huge part of the thanks for that has got to go to Wing Commander Sarah Charters from 4626 Aeromed Evacuation Squadron and the Royal Auxiliary Air Force. So thank you to Sarah. Please support Flight Sergeant Middleton as you have always supported me. And my plea again, and those of the line managers amongst you and that are serving personnel, if you agree to write an article, please try and work to the requested time frame, because I don't feel good when I have to keep nagging people, and I will, and I know Neil will do the same, because some articles you just want to be shared. And if people can't do it in a timely manner, just ask for an extension and it's fine. The magazine as it stands at the moment is 92 pages. That's taking into account the 4 articles I'm waiting. Obviously 2 are relating to the remembrance services this week, and I'm just waiting for 1 to receive MOD clearance, which we've got MOD clearance for the article. It's just one of the photographs I'm a bit concerned. So even though PGHQ did come back and say, yes, you've got clearance, it has gone to single service, just to say before I put that photograph in. And I know I'm like an old nag mom, but if we can just chase up about the Operation Golden Orb article, I really, really would like that in this year's magazine, because it wouldn't be timely to go into a subsequent one. And that's it. Thank you very much to everybody, and I look forward to being a member without portfolio going forward. Any questions?
Just a big thank you, Debbie, for what you've done. I'll say it again. I think on behalf of the team, I think the quality of the magazine has been exceptional since you took over. It is a high quality publication now, and there's some really good stuff in it. As a proofreader, I sort of read it 2 or 3 times before I get it and have a look through it again. It always looks different when you read it in the magazine format as opposed to the printed paper format. So yes, so I'm looking forward to this year's magazine. Is anybody else got any questions with Debbie? If you have, just speak. So I can't see any hands. I'm presenting in a minute. If not, we'll move on.
Well, thank you again to the editorial team, past and present, that have supported me.
Just want to say thank you, Debbie, very much. It's been a pleasure to work with you. I know we've had some strife over the last few years to get the articles in, and we are still working on Golden Orb. We have till Wednesday, close of play, so fingers crossed. I am trying desperately, as always, but it's been an absolute delight to work with you. You're a phenomenal lady, and thank you very much for being an inspiration to work with. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Mum. Thanks for your support too.
Thanks for that. That's been brilliant. It's there's a lovely photograph of Roddy there doing his reading at the church. It's just captured that really nice. So over to you, Roddy.
Thank you, Bob, very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Good to see some faces, new faces, and shall we say faces from longer ago, which is a nice mixture to have as always. Just a brief review of, it seems a long time ago that we're starting, but our summer visit of 2022, when we had 27 of us go and visit the Lincolnshire Aviation Heritage Museum, and Just Jane, which was a Lancaster aircraft, which was fired up and did a taxi run, which was extremely evocative. So that was a good event, and predominantly organised by Beth, who can't be here today, but sends her apologies. Then we had our normal November ceremonies, Field of Remembrance, on the Thursday before, Remembrance Sunday, attended by the Queen Consort, as she was known then, and Liz Eastburn represented us together with serving PMs at the front of our plot. And then the Centaur Parade, which obviously was taken by the new king, but at the parade afterwards, the march past at the back of Horse Guards, Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, took the salute there, and we had 48 or so people marching, and a good percentage of those came back for lunch at the RAF Club afterwards. I think we've probably said enough about the association centenary and cocktail party, but just despite having to do a reasonable amount of work, I did enjoy it very much. So, and that was a great event. Moving forward, obviously, we are now into Remembrance Week, a couple of days' time, 2 or 3 days' time. We've got the Field of Remembrance, and Debbie Meikle is actually going to stand in front of our plot and represent us, which will be great. And then we have about 40 or so marching on Sunday, and 40 or so mixture of people in the association and their guests coming back to the RAF Club afterwards for lunch. So that's something very much to look forward to. And the only other thing then to say is about next year. Obviously, we'll redo the remembrance events, and we are in the planning stages. I'm not sure we're going to, unfortunately, be able to get it, Debbie, into the magazine for this year, which is a shame, because I know that is a good way of promoting it. But we've got something we're looking at in the pipeline, but it's not mature enough yet to be able to say what it is, and certainly when it is. So it's lovely to have lots of association members come to these events, and we look forward to having a similar number going forward. Are there any questions?
No, I've just put it in the magazine, Roddy, as you have there. I've just put dates to be confirmed.
Yes, thank you very much. That's lovely. Yeah.
Just like to say thanks again to Roddy and Beth for all they do for this, because it's a lot of work to get these events put together. But I think those that do attend them do really enjoy them. So I would encourage people who haven't been to the event, certainly to the cenotaph, to apply next year. We get 50 tickets, so
yes, we've got a few vacancies this year, but I shall apply for the 50 again next year, and in the hope that we get up to that number. And of course, we always do have a couple of people that can't make it, and one of those, actually, we should say now, is unfortunately Barbara Chapman-Smith, who was an absolute stalwart regular, and her husband, and that her death notwithstanding, her husband is going to come along and represent her, which will be nice, because he had a ticket. We thought, well, come along anyway, if you would like. And he's indicated that he would like to attend, and it'll be a privilege to have him there. So
indeed,
so that's great.
Yeah, that's good.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Roddy. Thanks, much appreciated. AGM dinner 24. Who's going to do this? I'm not sure who's on the call.
It's me, Bob. Sharon.
Oh, Sharon, you're on the call.
I am on the call.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, I have the little man in my arms, which is why I'm not on video.
being extremely quiet. Fantastic news.
Yes, thanks. So as you've mentioned already, Flight Lieutenant Charlotte Bowers is going to take over and work with Dave on doing the AGM dinner reunion each year now moving forward. But I am really keen to stay a part of it. Flight Lieutenant Bowers and I were supposed to catch up about 2 weeks ago to complete our handover, but unfortunately, with everything that was happening at the time and her being at TMW, that hasn't happened yet. But I have spoken with Charlotte. She is aware of the proposal for next year and what we were looking to do. And I've sort of done some groundwork for her so that it's more a case of that she can take it on and move it forward if everybody's content with it. I've also spoken to Dave. We had a sort of a messaging over the weekend because that was supposed to happen last week, but then this little man decided to arrive. So we had a few messages just to make sure that he's read in as well, and Dave was content. So our proposal is that one of the things that's definitely been raised each time we have the AGM is about, we've done it. The last one was at Medwing down at Brize Norton. The one prior to that, before COVID, was up at Cranwell, and a few people have asked about us making it a bit more central on one of the occasions. So I've looked at Birmingham this time. Now, I know previously we'd looked at going to RCDM. I know from going over there and doing some shifts, there were still some issues over at Glenark Castle when I was looking at the beginning of the year. So we had a chat, myself, Bob and Dave, with regards to doing it the other side. I'm based over at Lichfield, so it's fairly easy for me to get us a space at DMS Whittington, but I thought it might be nice to do the National Memorial Arboretum. So I have been in touch with them. You can hold a dinner there of an evening. They have sent me through some information which I will go to the committee with at some point with regards to costings, etc. But they do have the opportunity for us to have a visit there in the afternoon, and then have a dinner in the evening. I've also looked to see what accommodation is like there for people, and there are Premier Inns and travel lodges within 2 to 4 miles, so all quite fairly locally accessible with a fairly cheap taxi ride for people should they wish to be staying over, and be accommodated for the evening. So like I say, the proposal is, I know when we spoke, Bob, we said about putting the AGM dinner back in like April, May sort of time. I know this year it was all changed because of the cocktail dinner, which was great, but whether or not the dates that the National Arboretum can accommodate us are on this slide. So I know, Debbie, you would probably like to put the date in the magazine. So I'm happy for us to either discuss the date now, or that I can send it to you, Bob, for the committee to decide which of these dates looks best. It's a Friday night, which is what we've previously said is what we would like to do. Again, I can go back if we want to change the day. But yeah, the option would be that I did ask about holding the whole AGM at the National Arboretum, but it's quite a steep expense just for the room during the day, and we wouldn't be able to have like a buffet lunch, etc., like we did before, which is why I still propose we have the AGM maybe at HQ DMS Whittington, and then move across to the National Memorial Arboretum in the afternoon for a visit, and then people can go and stay in their hotels and get changed and come back for the dinner of the evening.
That sounds fine. Yeah.
At the moment, Mum, I've just put it down as to be confirmed, and I just put spring 2024.
Okay, perfect.
My only concern with that would be the 3rd of May. That's the Friday before the bank holiday weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, these were the dates. When I went to National Arboretum, I just asked them for what Fridays they had in April and May, and these were the 5 they came back with. So I just thought I'd put all 5 on for us to be able to then discuss. But yeah, I did notice one of them was on a bank holiday weekend, and thought that's probably one that we will not choose.
Roddy, do you know what month you're looking at to put your summer event on?
No, I'm afraid not, Bob.
Not right.
It's too nascent at the moment.
Okay. Liz, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to, sorry, my dog's just walked in. All you can hear is click, click, clack from his feet. I can always, if we've got possible dates both for the special event and for the AGM, we can always do what we should have done recently and seems to have gone by the by, put out a newsletter in about February just to give everyone the dates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excellent plan.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so like late January, early February, get a newsletter out, because the magazine is really done in November, so that's still several months later, just to confirm the events for the year.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. Shall we do this in offline and just have a chew over the date and see what people's availability is, and then we're going to agree a date with the committee? Will that be okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds great. And like I said, I just wanted to make sure everyone was kind of happy with this kind of location this year, that we sort of look towards going a bit more central on this one next year.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
perfect.
And we haven't been to the Arboretum for a while, have we?
No,
several years since we've been up there.
Yeah, that was I think it was even pre-Wing Commander Swain, as Swain's that you went to the Arboretum. So that's why I thought it might be nice to do it as something different. And like I say, I have got all the points of contact for Charlotte and that now, and I will continue to support her. But I am, like I say, trying to take a little bit of a step back just because I am on mat leave with this little one. But, you know, I will make sure that she gets all the support she needs, and Dave, to make sure that we can run this event if this is the one that everyone would like to see happen in 2024.
Yeah, looks fine to me. Anybody got any comments? I'll take that as being happy then. Good, thank you. Thanks very much, Sharon. Much appreciated. Thank you.
No worries, thanks.
So this is our student nurse rep, AS1 Kathy Hannah. I'm sure she'll be able to explain what AS1 was. She did tell me the other day and I've forgotten. Over to you, Kathy.
Good afternoon, Mom. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Kathy Hannah. I'm your new student rep. So I don't know if you saw on that last slide there, but I did attach like a couple of photos of this past year. So if you see the photo to the left there, that's actually last year's Remembrance March in Birmingham, which is nice. So that's a few of the girls in my current cohort. It's all tri-service here, so which is like really nice because I've learned a lot more about the other services. And then the photo on the right at the bottom there, that's one of our like PT sessions. They're not all like that, but no, it's good fun. I do like it. So that's actually where we're living at the minute in Hampstead campus. So I just kind of wanted to run few things. So I'm currently in my second year of nursing now. It's a 3-year course. So I've just been promoted to AS1, which I was explaining to Bob. The ranks have changed. So like during basic training at Halton last year, like at the start I was AC Hannah, and then by the end it was AR Hannah. They've like updated the ranks. So AS1 would kind of be the equivalent to SIC, and AS2 would be the equivalent of your LAC. So yeah, I'm studying at Birmingham City University, and the unit I'm at is Department of Healthcare Education, DHE. It's a tri-service course, so I'm living currently with the Navy and Army student nurses as well, which is like great, and we all go to uni together and we get sent on placement together. I'm actually starting my next placement next week in Good Hope Hospital in Birmingham, if anyone's heard of it. I'll be working in the coronary care unit, so that's pretty exciting. And yeah, currently we have about 40 RAF student nurses currently in training. In my year, there's 10 of us, and that includes a couple officer transfers as well, so that's really nice. It's pretty much like a 50-50 mixture of direct entrance like myself and trade transfers. So there's like a whole mix of experience, which is like really good. So yeah, that's kind of the main points I wanted to get across for now. So does anyone have any questions for me in relation to that?
Can you just remind me, Kathy, what does AS stand for again?
So that was stand for Air Specialist 1. I probably should have said that, but I'm still getting used to the ranks myself.
It's weird. I've been in contact with
Sergeant Welsh.
Sergeant Welsh, that's it, yeah. Georgia here, and I'm going to try and get up to Birmingham in the new year. She's going to try and get all the students together, and I've already spoken to Neil as well about this, and to go and sow the seeds of the association early on in their careers, so it's not some sort of alien concept later on. So I'm probably going to do that after my holiday in January, and I'm working with Sergeant Welsh at the minute to find a suitable date, so I'll be doing that just to let the students know what the association is about and what we can do for each other.
That's really good. It would be great to get more students involved in the association.
It would indeed. It's but thanks, Kathy, for volunteering to do this. It's great to have you on board, and I'm sure you'll be a great asset to the team. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for making me feel welcome as your new student rep.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. I've already touched on this, heritage website, social media. George does all the spade work, collating everything, and I do all the website stuff, updating it, putting stuff on, everything else. And also I've quite active on social media, on the Facebook page, and I think that's been one of the biggest I think successes really since the website was launched in conjunction with the Facebook page. The Facebook page has grown since well over 600 members now, and if you want to get a message out, stick it on Facebook. It goes without saying. So we all just generally working through the heritage stuff, and I said I've just got to finish off the hospital photographs. Then we're going to start off on campaigns, but it does take time, and obviously, but the winter months is probably the best time to do this, because in the summer months they've got me allotments, so I'll probably get a bit more done in the winter months when the weather's bad. So we are working on it, and I think everybody now, I think, will agree the website looks very professional, and thanks to Julian, we work well together. Liz has got a good relationship with Julian. If anything needs tweaking, we just drop him an email, and we had a call with him a couple of weeks ago, sorted out a couple of issues, and he doesn't charge. He's reasonably priced. You know, you may give him a charge by the hour, you can sort it out and do it. So the website looks really good, and we'll keep putting stuff on it, and I'll try and keep it as updated as I can when things change and happen. And so just keep watching, and have a look at the hospitals. If you got a spare 5 hours to plough through them all, please do so. That's so. Any questions on heritage website or social media before I move on? That's Princess Mary, by the way, for those that don't know. Should be in the Christmas card this year. So, any other business? I'm gonna stop sharing the screen now, so I can come back and see you all. Let's just go into this. I can. Okay. I'll get back to seeing you all again. Where am I? Right, that's better. Right, I can see you all now. Right, any other business? I've just got a couple of things I'd just like to. I forget when it was now, because there's been so much going on. It must have been 2 meetings ago. I brought up the idea whether we could offer, as part of our membership, offer to fund the defence discount card for our members. And I think the committee thought it wasn't a mad idea. It's just another offer we can give people. It's $4.99 for 5 years. And I just wonder what people thought of that. Has anybody got any great? Yes, Liz?
I did look into it, Bob, but we can't sign them up for it.
That's right, yeah.
Because they have to put in their service number to join. So we could always, for those that don't have a defence discount card, we could always offer to reimburse them if they do just join. And I tried calling them. There was a number I found, but nobody answered the phone. So it kind of, but I did, when we discussed it a couple of meetings, it sounds like a great idea for those that don't have one. They should, because they keep adding things all the time. You can do everything from buy a computer to go on holiday to rent a car to buy new clothes, all sorts of things.
I think it's worth exploring to see how we could do it, memories with Sasha. You know, obviously they've got to pay up front, and memories we can reimburse them. I don't know, but it's just an idea. If anybody's got any great objections to that, please let me know.
Can I say it's only a £5? I've been a member of DDS for a long time.
Yeah.
And it does some amazing deals. I mean, friends of mine got, you know, $1,000 off a car and things. It is very good, but you know, surely we can all afford $4.99. I've just paid mine for the next 5 years. It's a nice idea, but I think, do we need to? especially if we can't do it for people, but we should encourage them to do it. If they say it's too expensive, well then, you know, we maybe fund them, but it's a brilliant card to have.
Oh, absolutely. It's just looking at ways where we can enhance our offer to members. So let's.
I don't object strongly.
You don't object strongly. All right, that's fine.
I paid mine.
Let's explore it and see how we could do it, and then we'll come back. Is that all right? Jill, your hand up.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you have to be aware you can only mostly use it online, can't you? Because I've been into some shops and say, do you take it? When they say they do, they're not awfully sure if they do. So I think you really need the ability to be able to use a computer to use the
no, you can use it in shops. You can walk into a Starbucks and get money off a coffee. You can walk into lots of shops and get money off. So
I use it on the cruise because with P&O you get more onboard spend with the discount card. It's quite a handy thing to have when you're booking your cruise. You've got a defense discount code, so yeah, it works really well. Okay, let's explore that one then. The other one I've got, it's on the back of Barbara's death, really. It was sort of, did we have anything to go over the coffin? I think was the question, and the answer was no, we don't. But the British Legion sent down some standards, and I zipped around the committee an idea: should we get some a coffin drape with a PM Association logo on? Which, if anybody wants to do that for the deceased member, we could offer that. We got agreement from the committee to do that. So I've ordered 2 coffin drapes. So once we've got them, we'll make that public knowledge. So if anybody wants to use one for a funeral, they can. It's basically the logo in the middle with the light blue colour of the scarf, so you can see the logo quite nicely. So I have placed an order for them. That's being done at the moment. So just to let you know that once we get them, we can then let people know. Gary's got his hand up. Yes, Liz.
he probably has it in America somewhere still. I did mention to John at Barbara's service last week. He had her scarf and her hat on the coffin. I said, your idea of having a scarf and a hat in the coffin has inspired us, and we will be and he was absolutely delighted.
Was he?
That might have transpired from his notion that he wanted Barbara's, and he was very determined during his speech to note that PMRAFNS had been a big saviour for her, and she'd absolutely loved everything she'd been to. So that's good.
So yes, it is down to Barbara to spot that little idea of. Yes, Nikki?
That was the question I was going to ask. I keep going to funerals at the moment, and they're all at least 10 years younger than me, which is slightly off-putting. I'm like my mother. I don't like to read all the deaths in the paper because I'm older than all of them. But I just wanted to check whether or not one can have the hat on the coffin. That's sort of allowed, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Because I went to a funeral today of a lady who was many years ago was ex WRAF or RFW as it was then. And she used to take great delight as an SACWX that she actually had a friend who was a squadron leader. So I went to a funeral today at the crematorium, and in honour of her, I wore my cenotaph coat with all the bits and my scarf and scarf ring, and the family thought that was lovely.
Good. Yeah. I think it's the sort of thing that I think if people know we've got it, it will be used. And I think it's just promoting the PMs and what we can do to support members and families and stuff. So I'm all for that. So all ideas are grateful. That was my 2 items of any other business. Anybody got anything else they would like to say? Debbie?
Yeah, just to say that I have just received MOD clearance for the article I was waiting for, so that's good. I'm waiting for now. So yeah, and the photograph I thought was a bit suspect has to be taken out, which I've
Is it? Glad you spotted that one before it went in. Liz, did you have your hand up?
I did, and now I can't remember what it was all about. It was something to do with the scarf, but I can't remember what now. My mind has gone blank. That's age, Nikki. It's your fault. Oh, actually, I do know what it is, and it's got nothing to do with looking at you, Nikki. I just suddenly remembered. Jill reminded me we do have one of our members who's 100 next year. But she lives in a care home in St Albans, so I plan on contacting the care home at the beginning of next year to find out if this member would appreciate a visit from somebody who I may be able to find locally who who could go and deliver cards and a card and some flowers like Nikki did for a member down in Kent a few years ago. I am still looking for someone to go to a lady who's partially sighted in Salisbury, and I've contacted everyone in the locale and none of them have volunteered, so I will contact them again because there is a lady who is partially sighted in Salisbury.
Yes, Nikki.
Have you, my geography is not very good, but have you contacted Dee Thornton, Lady Dee Thornton? She's at Cirencester, I think. Is that far away?
I don't know if she's a member.
Yeah.
Well, she came to something last year. It was wonderful because I'd lost contact with her and I hadn't seen her in years, and she came to a dinner last year. So I don't know whether
What was her last name, Nikki?
Dee Thornton. Lady Dee Thornton, married to Sir Barry Thornton,
yes, I remember. Yeah.
Engineer.
No, she's one of the ones I haven't contacted, but I will add her to my list to recontact people because this lady was
I
contacting
volunteered her.
Yeah.
She's a very busy lady, I'm afraid.
Ruddy, you've got your hand up?
Just to say, Liz, if we tic-tac on Sunday about it, because there is somebody who lives near Salisbury, and I'm actually not that far away, so we'll have a chat about it on Sunday.
Okay, I will get the information together so that I have it all.
Talk to me on Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sasha, did you have your hand up? How's it going?
Well, if Roddy's got it covered, that's fine. I was just going to say I will be kind of down in Portsmouth in January, but if you've got someone else before then that would be fine.
Okay, thank you.
See how we get on. If we don't come up with something, we'll contact you, Sasha, if that's all right.
Right. Anybody got anything else? Well, lovely. Okay. Well, I've got nothing else, but just to say thanks to everybody for attending, and I'm pretty glad to know that technology works. I was a bit worried about it, but it's worked perfectly well. Okay, and nice to see you all, and I'll look forward to seeing some of you on Thursday and more of you on Sunday. So that's not bad. 2:15. So we've got the rest of the day to yourselves, but it's we've got the two objectives done, the committee done, and the finances, and so that's all sorted out. So other than that, thanks very much. I'll see you.